Hello everyone, I'm Forrest Fisher from Simply Piano, Tuning, Repair, and Events. Welcome back to another episode of Theory Thursday. Today's episode is going to be a real good one. We're talking about fantastic intervals and how to hear them. So come on over to the piano and we'll get started. Alright everyone, here we are at the piano. So the first thing we need to do is define an interval. So an interval in music is the distance between two notes that are being played. These are intervals that I'm playing. We're measuring the distance between the notes. And I briefly hinted about this in last week's episode. So if you have not seen that yet, then there's going to be a link, at least for the YouTube users, and hopefully for the Facebook users as well. So let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start, as Julie Andrews said. The first interval is the unison, and it's also the easiest one because it's from C to the exact same C. This is a unison interval. Now on sheet music, you're going to see the note middle C right next to another middle C. All right. And for ease of demonstration in this video, all intervals are going to be from C. But any interval, you can start from any note on the bottom, and it's the same interval. All right. The other thing to note about intervals before we get into the actual tricks into hearing them is that there are major and minor intervals. Just like we have major and minor scales, there are also major and minor intervals. A major interval is defined as whole steps between the notes. And a minor interval is defined as half steps between the notes. So for example, let's take the second interval. So we're going to do the major second. The major second is one whole step apart from each other. 1, 2. And when we're counting, we count the note that we're starting on all the way up to the note that we're ending on. So 1, 2, that is the major second. Now the minor second is only one half step apart. So we're starting on C again, like always. Now we're going to go up one half step to C sharp or D flat. 1, 2. This is a minor second. 1, 2. So we know whole steps and half steps for intervals and stuff, but it's much easier if we put familiar songs with the intervals. This is how you're going to hear these fantastic intervals. Let's start with the major second. Now, I have a couple suggestions for the major second. Any of you who may be religious or what have you, there is a song called The Power of the Cross. That's the first couple opening bars of it. Oh, to see the dawn. Oh, to see. Oh, to see. This is the second. Oh, to see. All right. But the more familiar one that I think everyone will know is Happy Birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday. All right, major second. Now for the minor second, I give you Jaws. All right, so to recap so far, major second, Happy Birthday. Minor second, Jaws. All right, let's move on to the major third. The one I have that's probably most familiar for everyone is When the Saints Go Marching In. So it's those first two notes. Oh, when, oh, when, oh, when the saints, oh, when. That's the major third. All right, oh, when. So that's the major third. Minor third. Going off of the Julie Andrews reference that I made earlier, that quote was from The Sound of Music. The other thing that's from The Sound of Music is so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. So long, farewell. So those first four notes, they're all minor thirds. So long, farewell. Minor third, so long, farewell. The next interval is a fourth. There is not a major fourth or a minor fourth? Because I'll show you. So let's say this was the major fourth. Well, if we go down here, well, we already know that's a major third, so it can't be a minor fourth. So we call the fourth a perfect fourth because there's only one iteration of the fourth. It's not major or minor. It's perfect. So this is the perfect fourth. Familiar tune for that? Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. That's the tune for the fourth, all right? You may be thinking, what if you go up a fourth plus the half step? Well, no, that's called a tritone because it's equal distance between this C and the next C. So this is a tritone, and the example I have is from the West Side Story. Maria, 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 Maria. That's the tritone. It's a bit of a weird interval if you ask me. All right, let's move on to the fifth. Like the fourth, this one is always going to be perfect. There is not going to be a major and a minor fifth. It's only going to be perfect. So, for the tune, we have Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Again, it's only those first couple notes. Twinkle, Twinkle, perfect fifth. Twinkle, Twinkle. All right, so let's move on to the major six. If anyone watches NBC, you know the tune that they play at the end of their broadcast. NBC. So it's only those first two notes where they say NB, ba-da, major six, NBC, NB. All right. Could also use my Bonnie lies over the ocean. My bond. All right, major six. Minor six. The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. After these two pickup notes, ba-da, 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 minor six, da-da, 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 The Entertainer, all right? Major seven, working our way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take On Me by A-ha. You remember that from the 80s? Take on me. So those first two words, take on, da-da, major seven. All right, the minor seventh. Again, going back to West Side, somewhere, just a song Somewhere from West Side for minor seventh. And last but not least, the perfect octave or the perfect eighth. This one, just like the fourth and the fifth, there is not a major or minor octave. There is only the perfect octave. Now, just so you're not confusing this with the minor seventh, the tune for the perfect octave is Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. Somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere, somewhere, perfect octave, somewhere. All right, so there's a look at intervals and how to hear them and what familiar songs or tunes you can use to figure out what interval is what. And the examples that I have given, they are not the only examples. There are multiple examples. So what I want to do is, if any of y'all have any other tricks for hearing these intervals, any other songs or tunes or what have you, post them in the comments. I'd be very interested to see what you use to hear these intervals. All right. As always, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. I have several other videos on here about Tuning Tuesday, where we tune a piano, and Music Monday, where I play various pieces of music. So if any of that interests you, again, please consider subscribing. And that's all I got for you. Goodbye.